Me too. Me too. The draft, yes.
I just pivoted.
All right, welcome back,
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tilton the Scales. Thank you guys for joining me. This is the 57th episode.
That's
Woo!
Uh,
crazy.
Friend
That's
of the show,
crazy.
Jose, is here with my co-hosts Chester Bowen and Walter Hall III. Let's give everybody a round of applause for getting on here.
From the fourth. I
I
can't. I
said
can't.
Chester Bowen III.
You
No,
said
but
I
Walter
never.
Hall the third.
No, I did not.
Pull it back.
Well,
Pull
we will. We will. We will.
roll back the tape.
I'll.
it back.
I would clip it and share it, but I know you won't see it and share it either.
Damn.
So
He's on
No,
a
that's
roll.
not true. If it comes down to a competition between me and you, I will watch it to prove myself right.
well, then there
Every
you
time.
go.
Every time.
I will clip it and I will. If I'm wrong, I will admit that I was wrong. But I said Chester Fred Bowen III and Walter Hall. I know that I did. I never refer to you by a number, Wally, other
You
than
never
number
do.
one.
You never do.
Other
You
than
never do.
number one. Number one in my heart. All right, so
Sweet.
let's get started. We'll start with the Celtics. We went through pleasantries earlier, so we're all caught up to speed on our lives. So Celtics start the playoffs on Sunday. We had a conversation about a month ago when Tatum came back. Chester went out on the limb, probably a bold move, declared that they were going to win the NBA Finals.
They
I
are.
backed him on that after he came out and said that. I said that they were going to be the favorite within a couple weeks of Jason Tatum's return to be the NBA champions as well. They're not favored. They're the second seed. They look really good going into the playoffs. They play the 76ers for a series. I think that I mean, it's probably going to be a sweep if I'm being honest, but or a gentleman's sweep. They'll lose one game and then
Fine.
win out the
Yeah.
rest. But it's I think that they could play exactly the way that they were playing with the same rotation that they were playing in the season and still beat this team handedly. And probably every other team, but there's going to be a tighter rotation. We know our starting five's going to get the core of the minutes. I think that again, they're the number one team defensively throughout the league. Kate is a big reason for that. He's also a big reason why we're not talking about Al Horford being with the Warriors. Just
What
hands
a
up.
game he had.
A
What a
round
fourth
of
quarter he
applause
had.
for the Celtics. What's that?
What a fourth quarter Big Al had. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
he did.
Sorry.
Yep,
Sorry. Sorry.
against
Go
the
ahead.
Warriors for sure. Yeah, or with the Warriors. Yes,
Give it the
absolutely.
words.
No, he's again. I would rather see him on that for the money that we saved. I'd rather see him on the team right now, playing for us. Whatever minutes he can give us, he's got that it factor. He's been there before, got the T-shirt, won a championship with us.
You couldn't
Like
afford it.
he's
They did the right thing, but yeah, yeah.
they did, but they could have brought him back and done everything else that they did to save the money.
I
Uh,
don't think I don't think they could have.
I think they could have. What did they do? They let him go as a free agent, Walter. Like
Right,
everything
that's
else.
my point. But they couldn't afford. They couldn't have afforded to bring him back because I mean they're under the cap by a very little amount out of the luxury tax, which is ultimately the goal. We've been over this, and I don't want to retread old issues, but they're like they needed to drop a significant amount of salary, and if they were to pay him what the Warriors paid, they'd be over their limits.
Okay.
Listen, I love
So
Big Al. That's not a shot at him. I wish he was on the Celtics. I love the guy. I will always be a Big Al fan. I would borderline retire his number in the rafters. I like the guy that much because I think he's also been that important to the Celtics over the last 10 years. But they
yeah.
couldn't afford to bring him back. They just couldn't do it. They couldn't do it and be able to reset the repeater tax and all that. And it's complicated, and I can't begin to tell you. I explain it to you in the way I wish I could, but they needed
I
to
don't
get rid
think
of
you
his
truly
salary.
understand it, to be honest with you. I don't think any of us do. The
I
finances,
don't
I'm saying.
understand it. I
There
see
there
the
was
limits
there's a way.
in the
There's
aprons
a
and shit
way.
like that, but yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. Derek White's been a nightmare. He's going to continue to be a nightmare defensively. I'm excited for this team. I'm excited to see how far they can go. I just don't see them struggling too much, at least in the Eastern
Uh,
Conference. So
yeah, I
What's
hate
your
saying
take,
that.
Wally?
I hate saying that just because like I like the come from behind underdog story. Like I don't want to like consider ourselves the favorite. Um, I agree with you though. Like I think they're out front. That Detroit team's good, especially with Cade coming back healthy. But I think we can beat them. They're not tried and true. Like the Celtics are a staple in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is just what we do. Um, we've played really well, and I think I like the rotation we got. I think we're what are we going? What do you think, Nate? 8 deep. I think Shireman's earned a chance to be in the regular rotation. In which case, I
Yeah.
think they go 8 deep
Yes.
with
Absolutely.
Vujacic and Pritchard
Yeah.
along with
I
Shireman. Right, that's the 8, right?
Yeah. Well, again, with this series with the 76ers, I really hope that I don't know how much time Shireman deserves, honestly. Through the season, he was clutch. Through many clutch as in he was a good player,
Yeah,
a good starting rotation player for sure. I don't know if he deserves minutes. He will, just like anybody else on the bench, will have to earn them, and that earning means, you know, it's the playoffs. So if things get tighter, they play differently. They play tight. Like he will be sat. He should be sat down very quickly if that happens with anybody, including Kata. Kata could have
yeah,
that same effect. Hopefully he doesn't, but yeah, the rotation can obviously change. I think they
yeah.
should treat this series with the 76ers just like the regular season. Go with the normal rotation, see how everybody adjusts, and then go from there. Because normally I would say, you know, we shouldn't go past Peyton Pritchard or potentially
Well, Pritchard's our
whoever
sixth
who's.
man. You got to go
Yeah,
past Pritchard.
well, yes, Wally. Literally, you always take me
Garza,
so
how about
literally.
Garza? I think Garza's got to get minutes still. He's been playing so good lately.
Yes, but again, it's the playoffs. So
I know.
they've been in this position before, but not in the NBA. So I just hope that they don't tighten up and play a little differently, or play outside of their normal
Agreed.
shell, their normal bubble, and they do what they've been doing. If anything changes, then the rotation should shorten, and people should be sitting or playing less minutes until
Well, I
they
mean,
adjust.
we have the MVP of the league on our team, and he may not even be the best player on our team.
You
I
think
don't think we
Brown's the
do. I,
MVP?
I
How
wish
can
we
he
did.
not be?
I wish we did, but he's not going to be the MVP.
You don't think
Yeah,
so? Because I think he deserves it. Like no question in my mind.
You can
You
make
lose your
that. You can
star
make
player
that
last
argument.
year. Sorry.
he's a team MVP, but not the league for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's a
What
chance
do
he
you
doesn't
think,
even make
Jose?
first team. There's a chance he doesn't even make first team, which I think is a little blasphemous.
Yeah.
But I mean, you start naming guys like SGA, Jokic. I mean, there's not a lot of Cade Cunningham in the year he's had. Um,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
Well,
especially at the
I
guard forward position.
Luca.
What do you think,
yeah,
Jose?
I look at what you guys are talking about. I think, uh, definitely MVP of the team. I think he's carried that weight and all that stuff. He's a little overlooked, so it's he doesn't get put in the conversation, which makes it harder for him to get the MVP. Now, do I think that he has, as anybody put, hey, he had to play without Tatum for so long. So yeah, so he has a legitimate, says legitimacy to say, yeah, look at what I did, carrying this guy, this to this far. But the NBA, you know how it is. They like their stars, they like their, and he's just not one of those guys yet. He's not in that rotation of big names where they want to push forward and make the face of the league. So, you know, I just I think he's going to get some credit, but I'm with Wally. He might not even be that first team All NBA. So you never know. You never know with this. It's unfortunate. And like they're going to see the series with the Sixers. I'm a Sixers fan. I'm pretty rich already packed my jersey away. One and I hate to say that, but Embiid has proved nothing in the playoffs. He's just,
he
and
won't
then
be
you
back
add,
until game five, right? Game
Is
yeah.
he
five.
going
So,
to play?
well, I will say
Yeah,
this:
is he going to play this series? I don't think he's
I
going
will
to
say
play.
my son had appendicitis, and 2 days later he was chasing a chicken down. He was running around doing stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he has your
It's
genes. He has your
yeah.
genes, though. That's
So I
special.
mean, but Embiid is fragile. He needs fragile stickers on him, and
That's
that's his. He never shows up when it matters most.
No, not
And
against the Celtics, especially.
oh yeah, I mean, especially against the Celtics, he just disappears. So like him getting his appendicitis right now, that's not. It's like par for the course. Here we go again. So I honestly I was hoping they trade him the last few years, but they keep doubling down on this guy, and I don't get it. He's not it. He's not that dude.
He puts
I
up
honestly I
great
would rather have
regular
Jalen
season
Brunson than
numbers.
him.
He's a hell of a regular season player.
Oh yeah, he's
One of
solid.
the best.
But
One of the best in the NBA.
he's good
Wait,
for 50 games.
Jose, did you say
And
Jalen Brunson?
I'd rather have Jalen Brunson on my team than him
No,
because
all
he's
day.
because
I hate
he's
and love Jalen Brunson.
he's got that attitude, but you know what? He's there. He's fighting every day. He's always out there. He's like I'm gonna play 70, 80 games. I'm gonna do what I got to do. He's grimy. He's got that blue collar work ethic. That's why I loved Iverson because he was the same
Yep.
way.
Yep.
So
Look, Brunson, it's weird that you said that because I was thinking that today. Like, if I had to pick
Well,
someone,
don't you have that in Tyrese Maxey?
I think Maxi has that ability, but because they deferred Embiid, he's not allowed to. But it was the same thing with a lot of guys that've been there. We've had guys that've been there that could have been the guy, and we just kept doubling down on Embiid. We should have gotten rid of Embiid years ago. That's my opinion. There,
Well,
but that's just me.
I mean, Marquez Folk drafting Marquez Folk hurt a lot too. Like the way
Yeah.
that panned out, that hurt a
Well,
lot.
over the years, the Sixers have not been known for their great drafts. I mean,
I think
we
Ben
took
Simmons
we
ended up hurting in the long run too, right?
yeah
Mm,
yeah. Well, and because he was attacking the basket, and Embiid was down, or they guys were clogging the lane for him, and he never developed a jump shot. But in the same token, I look at what the Sixers have done over the years. I mean, this is the same franchise that took Sean Bradley over Anthony Hardaway and Chris Webber. So there you go. They just keep doubling down on these big dudes and don't realize the game's evolved. It's not a big guy game anymore. You have some big
Embiid was
guys,
so good for a little while, though. But
He
man,
was.
I feel like
He
he
was.
put up some numbers. There was a stretch where Embiid was almost unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, there's the thing is that he has these windows where he looks really good. So it's like fool's gold. Like you sit down
You're
and it just
absolutely,
all of a sudden playoffs come and he
absolutely right.
disappears or he gets hurt and it's like, man, it's so frustrating because it's like, come on, guy, like your talent level is up here, but your production in the moments when it counts, you disappear and you can't be. It's like Robert Ory. Robert Ory, you look at his regular season numbers, but Big Shot Bob, when it mattered, that was the dude.
Jose,
And
let me ask you this: whose career, like him or Tatum, like whose career is better right now? Snapshot. Who's like higher on the rung, Embiid or Tatum?
well, if you go by LeBron fans, they're going to say numbers wise, oh, Embiid, look at him. Tatum's so much better. He embodies Boston. He carried Boston to a championship. He plays hard. Your guys as fans are never disappointed when he's on the court, and that I can't say that for Embiid. So, yeah, I mean, statistically, people always say, oh, statistically, oh, look at these numbers. You can stack numbers. Vinny Testaverde stacked numbers. He has better numbers than Joe Montana. Would you rather Vinny Testaverde, Joe Montana?
Yeah.
It's and that's the problem. We sit down and look at numbers. Yeah, Embiid has some nice numbers here and there, but he never plays 82 games. And in the playoffs, he just disappears. And especially, and you guys as Celtics fan, when the Celtics come to town, it's like, what happened? Hey, where'd he go? It's like he disappears and he can't get it done. He just doesn't get it done. And then at some point you have to say, hey, this isn't working. He doesn't have that it factor. And I sit down, I look, and it's with a lot of guys. There's some guys that are great players, but when the lights are brightest and everybody's on, and you're needed to make that play or hit that shot, some guys have it, some guys don't. He's not one of them. Tatum's one of those guys. Tatum,
No argument for me. I agree. I agree with that.
When Embiid runs, it looks like there's just something wrong. Like it looks like it hurts
Yeah.
when he runs. And
Yeah.
I wonder if NBA scouts or I'd imagine it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I'd imagine that they do this, but I would think that you would evaluate because with all the data now that Steph Curry obviously runs a lot
Yeah.
just by nature, but an 82 game season running up and down the court, you run so many miles. I wonder if they ever evaluate like a running gate
Here, here's the
of an
here's
athlete
the
and a basketball player because I'm
here's the
sure you can
yeah,
predict through
yeah.
that running gate like whether they'll eventually have problems with their knees, with their hips, with their ankles.
Yeah,
The
I don't.
more
I will say the problem is that these guys work out and they're in shape, but they're not in basketball shape. When you think about, when you listen to the stories of the guys from the past, they would go into the off season and then they'd meet up in California or they'd meet up in New York, and they're playing basketball all year round. So their body is used to playing basketball because basketball stop, start, turn, everything that you're doing if you're not doing that all the time, your body, and then all of a sudden you decide I'm going to get off the couch and go, I'm going to run up down the court and make all these cuts and all this other stuff. Yeah, of course you're going to have little these injuries. They're just not. They don't play. They don't. Their body hasn't developed toughness. So
yeah.
that's just me. I don't think everybody's bigger, stronger. No, they have more access to medical care, this, that, and the other. But I think that's the body is built through repetition. The body is built through doing things. And if it's like a quarterback. If you're not throwing a football, you're not going to get off the bench and get out there. Okay, and I'm going to throw for 500 yards. You could do it one time maybe, but if you keep doing it over and over again, eventually shoulder's going to go out, your elbow's going to go out, something's going to happen, and you're just not going to be what you
I
were
mean,
used to were.
Jose, I can do it right now.
Well, you're Chet, you don't count. You're Tom Brady and Bill Belichick mixed together.
Right.
So,
The brain,
so
everything. I got it.
you
Yeah.
you know so you know I did watch the Jailblazers on Netflix, and I thought that was an interesting watch. I funny because I watched Rasheed Wallace and they were watching, and this guy was hitting threes back when it wasn't cool for bigs to hit threes.
He was
Yep.
good.
He was a really talented player, but man, I did not realize how many technicals he got. Like
A lot.
like his record for technicals in the season will never be broken. Like you literally just have to go out there and just be cussing everybody out all day, every day. It was ridiculous. But the guy was uber talented. And the irony is he leaves Portland the first year is in Detroit and he wins a title. And he doesn't get a third of the technicals that he got
He
in
was good.
Portland.
He's a hell of a basketball player.
Yeah, it's crazy because you're like, wow, him, Damon Stoudemire, Bonzi Wells, and them, like they had Sabonis out there. They had a really good team. Like, how did they not compete better? But
Yeah.
Culture.
yeah, that's what it comes down to. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, all right. So we like the Celtics. Anybody find another series interesting? Do we like the Lakers Rockers
I do
series?
like that the Lakers won the plan. I kind of like, especially the way they did it last second. Like I'm intrigued by that a little. So yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah. Lakers Rockets. LeBron's gonna have to carry that team when
He will. He will have
outright
to.
win that series if they want to advance. So
Well,
I think
I will
that's
say, oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. I will say this: the only thing the Rockets don't have that guy, so I think they don't have that scorer, that offensive guy. So I don't think that
what
there
about
is much of a
KD? What's wrong
KD's
with
1,000.
KD?
One, he's 1,000, and he's a shell of the guy he was. So I mean, unless he decides like, hey, I'm going to get a chip on my shoulder and prove to everybody that but
That
he
guy can
hasn't
turn
been
it
that guy.
on anytime he wants to.
Uh,
I will be
Well,
honest.
then why doesn't he?
yeah.
I mean,
Why is Houston struggling like they were?
Yeah.
I don't. Like I said, I mean, again, it should be interesting. I think with LeBron coming to town, it might be a little different. He might get his juices flowing, but sometimes he seems uninterested. So,
Yep.
and
So I'm looking forward to that Nuggets Timberwolves series.
Yeah.
I feel like the Timberwolves are one of those teams that perform well. Ant seems to be a clutch performer that steps it up in the playoffs. Having said that, I still believe Jokic is probably the best basketball player Like, I'm not talking about the MVP this season, although he's got a pretty solid argument for it. I think he's the best basketball player alive today. Um, so I think the Nuggets will come out on top. But that Minnesota team, Ant plays well down the stretch. So I think that has the potential to be a really good series. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think so too.
That'll
I
be fun
think
to watch,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, I think that's actually going to be a
Jokic
good series.
Jokic might be arguably the best center ever to play
When
the
it's all
game
said
right
and
now.
done, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like,
With
yeah, I
Wemby
get you.
close to
Yeah,
it,
I agree.
close on his heels, with Wemby close on his heels by the time it's all said and done.
No,
But
come get out of Dodge. Let's let him win a playoff series before you start crowning him.
I
Yeah,
mean, I thought we
I,
already established that Jalen Brown's the MVP. I thought we did that already.
I don't even think he's first team All NBA.
I
And I'm a
know.
yeah,
Jalen Brown fan, but let's think about this: Wemby,
Yep.
Jokic,
Yep.
SGA.
oh come on, don't crown him. Make him win a playoff series.
Well, I'm not crowning him, but I think he's first team All NBA, certainly,
yeah.
right?
I
Only
would
playing
say
22 minutes a game? I don't know about that, Wally.
You don't think Wemby's first team All NBA?
I don't think he should, just based off the fact that he only played 22 games, 22 minutes a game. Like he had production overall for sure,
And
but like,
and by the way, his team ended up as the second best record in the NBA. All you know what I
yeah,
mean? So they
I think
didn't
he
need
should.
him. He's gonna play 30 minutes a game now. He didn't
I
need
think,
to because they've
I
been
think,
dominated.
I
yeah.
think because of Jokic and the minutes that he's played and the way that he's dominated, he takes second team. Wemby goes to center, second team, and then
I
that
think they
open.
go center because they're not. It's not by position anymore this year. Remember they voted out. It's like
I know,
the
but
top five
Yeah.
scorers.
yeah.
I think they're going to be probably 1 and 2 in SGA three.
I think Jalen Brown's deserving one
I'm
the
not
load that
arguing
he.
he's deserving.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. I think he deserves it. I just don't think he'll win it.
No, he's the
Well,
MVP.
I think
In my
I
mind.
think
In my
Cade,
mind.
Did you see the season Cade Cunningham had? Holy shit!
Yeah.
He deserves first team too.
I
Yeah.
get
tell
that.
me about his season. What did he do?
I think he led his team in points, assists, rebounds, and right. I mean,
Yep.
look it up. That Detroit team finished in first place by a considerable margin in the East,
Yeah.
thanks in large part to his season.
Yep.
He's a stud.
All right, so Cade's in there. Then who?
SGA,
Okay.
Jokic. We've already been over his. We've
Yeah.
already been over
Wemby. There's
Wemby's.
four.
Wemby's
I think
attributes.
Jalen's right there. I think
And
Jalen's
then,
right
and then
there.
you can make an argument for Jalen at 5. Yeah, you could. You can make an argument for who else? Like who are we forgetting? Oh, Luca. Luca.
No.
You think?
Yeah. Look at Luca's numbers this year, man.
Yeah,
He's
He
insane. No, he's
numbers.
insane. I just can't see the MVP part.
I'm not
No,
MVP. We're
I
talking
don't
first
see
team.
first. I don't see first team. I don't see first team in Luca. The
Oh,
team
doesn't
wasn't good
see.
enough. The team wasn't good enough even when he was on the court. So, and he's got a legend on his team in LeBron. Like,
A
I'm
a
sorry.
fading star.
Yep.
A Jalen Brown with what he did this season with the team that was
I agree.
assembled.
I agree. Listen,
He's got to be
I'm
there.
just trying to play
Sorry,
devil's
Luca.
advocate here because I
Yep.
think there's a
Yeah.
lot of good. There's a debate here. It's not clear cut,
Yeah,
but I
for
agree
sure.
with you. I agree. Jalen Brown
Back to
deserves.
debating. How do we feel about Luca and Cade Cunningham being exempt from the 65 game rule so that
Ooh,
they can
love
be
it.
in the MVP
I love it.
or any awards.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because you can't I get the rule. I love the rule when it came out, still do. But you get appendicitis or something happens on the court where you're giving it your all. I do think there needs to be some exceptions. The problem is um the idea is
Yeah, but
that you
isn't
don't
an
have
injury basketball related? So like if you miss, I'm sorry if you miss due to
Yeah.
injury. Like now, Luca's case, he missed 2 games to go see the birth of his son. Like I think that should be exempt, right?
I
Like
agree.
because
I
he
agree.
only missed the 65 games by one. So give him those 2 games back or give him the exemption. Now if he Cade Cunningham, you missed 2 weeks because of you got
From too
injured on the
long.
court. I feel like that's basketball related. We're not
Yeah.
we can't like. Again,
But don't you
is
think
flu if they get
don't you think
flu, is that related? Like
if
I
you're
think
good
it is.
enough, if you're good enough where you can take a couple of games off to go see your son being born, which I love. I love that. You're good enough for that, which means you don't really need the award. Like I think the idea of the NBA awards is like we're creating a superstar. We're creating a new face of the league. And so if you're so like LeBron, he does not need to be the MVP. He doesn't need to make the All-Star team. Like he's just LeBron at this point. He's got his own brand. I love the rule, the 65 game rule. I don't love it though when something crazy happens like appendicitis that it takes you out of it. So I think it's just like it'll be probably looked at, analyzed, they'll fix it. But I do like the 65 game rule because people are paying their money to go see these superstars.
Yeah.
Like they're not showing up to the NBA to watch the
Yeah.
backups play. They're going there, they're excited, they're talking to their kids about it. So I love the rule in general, and of course there'll be exceptions here or there. So
I agree.
it's
Yeah.
I
complicated.
agree with that.
I mean, honestly, if they could tie it into the contracts, well, hey, if you don't play, you don't get paid. It'd be a little bit
Yeah.
more incentive for them guys to get out on the court. But I think part of it is like you got to these guys who they go, oh, I pulled a hamstring, but they're not hurt. They're just saying they
Yeah.
pulled a hamstring because they don't want to play. And
Yep.
and I just think that the for the brand of the NBA, the problem is when you watch the old clips of Kurt Rambis getting clotheslined or Michael Jordan getting knocked down and hitting his head and getting back up and playing, and then you see these guys who, quite frankly, aren't dealing with any of that and saying, "Well, I can't play 82. This is just too many." It's hard. It's hard for the average guy who's out there grinding, especially for the price of tickets now. That wow, it's like I'm paying, and it's like again, like you said, this kid wants to see Steph Curry. He's like excited, and then Steph Curry decides I don't want to play today. Well, geez, I worked all these hours and put all this money and effort and time, and then you disappoint my child. I mean, maybe if they say, hey, unless you're legitimately hurt, you need to play on all road games because you only get two of them.
Yeah.
You can sit out home games because your home fans will see you, but road games, unless you're legitimately hurt, you need to take your ass out there. I mean, that's just something they're going to have to look at. I'm not the 65 the whole awards thing. Half those guys don't really care. It's more the only reason they care is because there's bonuses involved in their contracts. That's the
Right.
only reason they care. If the bonuses in their contracts, they're not going to care.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing time's an issue. It's going to be an issue moving forward until some of this changes are implemented, I think. I mean,
yeah,
and I think they should be a little bit more strict, to be honest with you, with the rules as far as games played. I think you shouldn't miss a home game due to a supposed injury or minutes restriction, etc. Like that's what you get paid for. That's who's
yeah.
paying your salary. You shouldn't be missing a home game unless it's a
So
legit injury.
can
Well,
I
And
can I play
go ahead.
devil's advocate on this point for a second?
you
Woo,
can if
here
you
we
want to,
go.
and
Yeah,
if you will.
I don't necessarily agree to this, but I think that if your ultimate goal is to win a championship, right? Like, so if you're the coach, you're the GM, and you say, listen, day one, first day of preseason, putting team together. Our goal, number one A, is we want to win a championship. And the best way to get there is if you have a 38-year-old, if you have a 45-year-old LeBron James, if you have a 37-year-old Steph Curry, however old he is, and the best way to get there is to sit them for a third of the season so that they can be ready for the playoffs. Like how do you begrudge, like if that's your goal and your goal is to win a championship, shouldn't you be empowered to make every decision necessary to win that championship? And if in doing so means sitting your best player for a third of the season so that it's ready for the playoffs, it's hard to begrudge a team that's doing that.
well, I
Well,
think when
why
when you
not?
look at that, go ahead, Nate.
Why not be an advocate to reduce the number of games that are played so that there isn't a restriction or we're not sitting out because
Money.
if you
Yeah, I will
well
say
then
this. My thing with the whole, I if you're so concerned with their durability, then limit their minutes in the game. Like you kind of somebody had said, well, Wimby only plays 22 minutes. Well, you know what? If he's only playing 22 minutes all season, but he's ready for the playoffs, that's fine. Wimby's a young guy. 22 minutes is not, but he plays in 82 games. Guess what? Nobody's complaining. No one's saying, hey, he played in every game. It wasn't he didn't play the whole game, but he played in every game. He put in 22 to 25 minutes every game. I think that the fans would respond to that better than
Yeah,
guys literally just sitting out.
I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
Also,
I,
these are elite athletes. These are elite athletes making way more money per game check than I make in a year. So I have a big problem with this idea that they're able to sort of say, "Oh, my knee hurts on this day," whether it does or does not, to
yeah.
come out of a game. Oh, Wally, I see it and I'm liking it. Go ahead.
I don't think
Well,
it's fair to say that this is the individual athlete's decision. I think just as often it's the team's decision to say
no.
you're not playing today because we need to rest you for the playoffs. So it like you're painting the athlete as the diva when I think it's a strategy to win a championship
Well, yeah, Popovich
and a
did it.
valid one, a valid strategy.
Popovich is one of the first ones to do that. Now, again, if you're telling me, hey, we want to rest LeBron, who's like 100 years old, got it. But why is a guy like Wimby? He should be able to play 82 games, 22 minutes.
He's built like
Well, yeah,
he's
but
built like a
again,
stick figure.
yeah,
That's why I think that's
but
why, right?
again, how does he build up his endurance if he's not playing? You know what I mean? Just when he starts getting that rhythm, he has to. You telling me that these guys back then, when they were, when you watch a lot of those guys come out of college in the '80s, they were stick figures and
Yeah,
they
but
had to
it's
build
different.
themselves up, and they
Seven
were in a much more physical
guys that are
game.
7'7" don't have like, in my
Yeah.
experience, don't have like a long,
No,
healthy careers, right? They
No,
break
they
down
don't.
physically
yeah,
because I think it's just their makeup. They're 7'7". I don't
Yeah.
yeah.
know.
Well, yeah, I don't. He's probably, like I said, it's you go down but he, again, but I will say this: when he's on the court, he plays hard
He
and
does.
he gives effort, and that's why the fans love him. But again,
I
like I
love
said,
his game. I love
I
his
don't.
game.
But what is the excuse for all the other young guys? What are they about the guy who's 6'2", 6'6", or those guys should be able to play 82 because the history tells us that he can do it. You have your exceptions for everything, of course. Like I said, LeBron and Steph, yeah, they're older. We got to pull them back a little bit, slow down their minutes. Again, to me, if you're going to sit them at home because half their games are at home, so home fans have more opportunity. But because when you play on the road, you only get two against everybody. So especially if you're the Eastern Conference and you're playing the Lakers only come to your town twice. So guess
Yeah.
what? That means if I buy tickets for my kid and then they sit, well, now I'm out. You know,
Sucks. Yeah.
so there's got to be a way to fix it. I think but again, it goes back to me. It's like I'm a pride thing. I would take pride in being out there.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I would take
Me
for
too.
me. I would be like these. I'm here. These people are paying their hard-earned money. Does that construction worker gets to stay home because his back hurts or his shoulder hurts, his knee's a little swollen? No,
Nope. Yep.
Yeah,
and
I had perfect attendance all through high school, so I think that
uh,
Did
they should all
you really, Nate?
have perfect attendance, make
yeah,
every game, and feel bad about it. Give their paycheck back when they miss a
yeah.
game.
So
You're being facetious.
but I mean, again,
No,
like
I'm
I said,
being I'm being somewhat serious. I agree
yeah,
with Jose about if you
you
miss
got
a
to,
game, game check like that. You
yeah,
don't get a game
That
check.
is
Like
actually a
yeah,
decent way to handle it.
you
Game
could
check.
tie it to that. I mean, again, it doesn't have to be the whole check, but say, hey, you know what? If you're not legitimately hurt, if you're saying, "Oh, I tweaked my hamstring," that how hard, that it's almost impossible to tell. So
Wally,
guess
what are
what?
you thinking?
So to me, you say, you know what? We're gonna take some of your money back. We're gonna say, you know what? Make people earn it again. And it's the same thing when Michael Jordan said these guys haven't earned anything. They're coming in now getting 20, $30 million a year. Some guys, they get 5, $10 million a year. Well, when Barkley came in the league, he was getting 700,000 a year. So he was hungry. So he's like, I'm not missing anything. I'm trying to build my brand. Jordan, he had to build his way up to making those millions of dollars. He didn't get paid big money till the end. So when you look, a lot of those guys, the older guys, they earn their money. Where these younger guys walk in. I mean, LeBron walked into the NBA, $70 million sneaker deal. You know what I mean? Hadn't played one game,
Yeah.
and how many guys got sneaker deals that didn't pan out like LeBron?
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I got a
He earned every
$30 sticker
dollar
deal.
of it, though, right? He earned every
Well,
dollar.
I didn't. Oh, I didn't say it was a good investment by Nike. They did. He did earn his money. I'm not. But I'm saying how many other guys got deals like LeBron, maybe not as big, but got deals and then didn't pan out and didn't
Yeah.
earn the money. You know what I mean?
You know
So
what
to
I think it comes
me,
down
There's
to?
hundreds of them.
Like
Hundreds of them.
at a fundamental level, it comes down to what's the ultimate goal. If you're a team owner, if you're an NBA player, is the ultimate goal to put the best product on the court, meaning like to draw the most eyes, to
Yeah.
raise the most funds, to get the most views. Is that the ultimate goal, or is the ultimate goal to be the best team and win the championship? Because I think
It's
those are two
both.
different.
It's
I think those are
both.
potentially two
It's
different
both.
things. I
yeah,
think it's two different
Both.
things, and I think from an NBA business perspective, it's two different things. Because
But it's
that if
both.
your
The
ultimate
answer
goal
is
is to win,
both,
if
though.
your ultimate goal is to win a championship, I maintain that it's probably behooves you to sit your older players for a lot of games so that you can ultimately have them healthy for the playoffs.
yeah,
But if your product is to, you know, draw audiences and let the all the opposing fans see, and I agree with all that,
yeah,
then that's different than wanting to win the championship because you want those players to play every game because that drives the audience and that gets
yeah,
asses and seats and it gets clicks and all that shit.
yeah. I agree with you, but I think they're not mutually exclusive. I think that you sit down and you look at the NBA. It is a business, and at the end of the day, you're trying to make money. Well, now you're hurting the brand of the NBA when you're doing this. And how many teams are out there that are just out there? You know, we only hear and I remember growing when I was younger. You know, we knew who was on the Atlanta Hawks. We knew who was on, when Ray Allen was in Milwaukee.
Wilkins.
We knew who, we knew who these guys were. Now you only know, that I mean, and ESPN is terrible for this. They only talk about the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors. They only talk about big names or the big brand names, and so the rest of the NBA is falling behind, and it's like, you know, we don't where when are we going to hear about these new young guys that are out there having great when Cleveland was having a great season last year, you didn't hear nothing about them. Didn't hear a lick, and well, because they're Cleveland. And it's unfortunate, back when Craig Elo and Hot Rod Strickland and all them were in Cleveland, we knew who they were. We knew, Brad Daugherty and them, and Cleveland. So Cleveland was relevant. Now they're not. And that's the problem. I think the NBA was better when everybody was viable. And you look at some teams, they're just there. Some of the owners just collected a check. They know
Yeah.
they're not putting together rosters. They're not trying to do anything to win. They're just collecting. I mean, Memphis has been collecting a check for how long?
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's
look at
circle back to this conversation when we talk about Major League Baseball because that's even worse than that league.
yeah,
But
It
yeah,
is, yes.
that's a
Yeah,
conversation for another day.
something needs to be done. Agree with you, Jose, about the game checks. Like you can sit as long as you want, but I think the number of games that you play matters, and that should be how you're paid. Not.
yeah.
And we could even look at they get PTO as well. They get sick leave as well.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
the
and
structure, the financial structure should favor both sides, right?
yeah,
When I work, I get paid. When
yeah,
I don't
Yes.
work,
Okay,
yeah.
I
Nate,
shouldn't
is
get. I
Jeff
shouldn't.
trying to get in? Is anybody
What?
pending?
Uh,
Is Jeff
Uh,
trying to get in?
I don't see him. Nope.
uh. I find funny about the whole thing is these guys whine and complain about playing so much, but back in the '80s they were playing commercial. Now they're flying in private jets. They have masseuse. They
Yeah.
have they have these private doctors. They have all the luxuries.
Everything.
Yeah.
And they're complaining, but they don't play back to backs anymore. They don't, their games are spread out. I mean, playing on Sunday, come back playing on Monday or Tuesday. That don't
Sweet.
happen anymore. These guys
I
are getting
can't
3 days
stand it.
rest.
I
So to
can't stand
me, they've done so much to ease the stress, but yet they're still complaining. It's not enough. And like I said, they're not playing back to back games like they used to. They're not,
Yeah.
they're try. I mean, they are literally have their own jet. They
Yeah.
go out there and they're flying and everything's top of the line. I mean,
It's a new
I
generation.
don't get it. I don't to me I don't get it because these older guys were they're on buses, they're flying coach. Can you imagine seeing Kareem get on a plane with us at Southwest and then just getting in the little itty bitty, first class that they
I
have?
could not.
Think about that. But that's what he was doing. You think
Yeah.
that dude's 7 foot tall. He's sitting there looking at the rest of us like, y'all complain about leg space. Are you high? You know what I mean? Like you need to shut up. These guys now, I mean, they're living the lap of luxury, and I'm sure Kareem was like, man, you know how long my career would have lasted if I could have flown like this and had a masseuse and a massage therapist and
10 more
my own
years.
doctor, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just sit down. I just find it kind of, come
Dude,
on, man.
Bill Russell had to coach and play at the same time. Can you
Yeah,
imagine if he had his own masseuse? Like,
He
come on.
got it.
yeah, and so I
Well,
mean,
hey,
and
the Boston Celtics were saving money on that deal. They didn't pay him to be a coach. They just
hey,
paid him to be a player. Like
That's
he didn't
right.
get paid. He didn't get two
yeah,
paychecks. That was
yeah,
bullshit. I hope he
Let's
got.
go.
Hope
Let's
he
go
got
back
some
to that.
royalties after that.
He was relative.
Let's get the real men
yeah.
back in basketball. Let's do that.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I mean, and I don't take. There's some guys out there that are playing 82, at least playing 70 plus games, and they're,
They are.
they're killing out there. There's guys out there, but we don't hear about them, and it's unfortunate.
Jalen,
Jalen
motherfucking
Brown,
Yeah, and again, that to his credit,
MVP.
that's one of those things where he can, if he wants to say, look, yeah, that guy
Not
got great
MVP.
numbers, but he only played
First team
65
All NBA.
games. Here I am, I played 78 games.
Yeah.
I was carrying these guys a lot longer. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Speaking
I
of
I just have
speaking
respect
of
for
the
that.
new
Speaking of MVP,
generation,
Drake May.
speaking of a new generation,
Oh,
Cooper Flag, man, first rookie since Michael Jordan to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals.
he's
I
killing
think
it.
he pretty much locked up rookie of the year.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody argue that? Does
No.
anybody
No.
think?
No.
I mean, this podcast has been on Cooper Flag for years. We've been talking about Cooper Flag for a long time now. So yeah, I think our
Well, none of
collective-
no one knows that though, Wally, because you don't like or share anything.
get the fuck out of Dodge. Can you not try to bring
Just
down
saying.
the room? Can we
Just
just
saying.
enjoy a conversation
Yeah.
without you dragging us down negative? Come on.
Hey,
Trying to shame you, right,
I'm just
Wally?
pointing it out. I want everybody to know that you were right years ago, Wally. I want everybody to know that. You don't want everybody to know that. Literally, you don't want everyone that you know
I just
to
want
know
you
that.
to know that. And I like to hear you say I'm right. So thank you for that. I was right 2 years ago. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I wish you'd say that more, Nate, because frankly, I'm right a lot. And you just don't seem to ever point it out.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
mean,
Oh,
the
my
times
goodness.
that you think you're right and the times that I think you're right do not equal. You're correct about that, and
Just
it's
stick
okay.
with what's
That's
most recent. You just said I was right. We have
No, yeah.
witnesses. It's on tape.
It's on. Yeah, it
I
is.
heard you
I
say
did.
it. I was
It's
right.
going to live
I
forever
did.
now. So
You were right. Nobody on this podcast disagreed with you because we were all on the same boat with Cooper Flag for sure. There's no doubt though. NBA Rookie of the Year. He came into the league. I think he was literally 2 days older than LeBron James when LeBron James came into the league. Like for him to do that again and
Yep.
do something that Michael Jordan didn't do, or the same thing that Michael Jordan did do as a rookie.
And I
like
think
that.
Con is on the precipice of being kicked out of the playoffs right now. I think last I saw, Orlando was up big.
Oh
He
man.
is. He is. And I think based off of the fact that, again, Conkinipple had a good rookie season. He didn't
Agreed.
carry the team. He wasn't asked to carry the team. He's a complimentary player. Great asset for the team, but I don't think that he's on the same level as, even if you want a side-by-side comparison of his statistics. They don't compare. So
per year.
yes.
Oh my God!
It's
Con only had 11. He had 6 points in the last play, and he only had 11 today. That's not good at all.
not good at all.
They lost by 30.
Hopefully, when Cooper Flag makes the playoffs, his first 2 games will be better than that. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
There's no way this is real, but I just asked my phone. Hey,
Yeah, we heard you.
yeah. So it says that Michael Jordan played an average of 82 games per year. Is that real?
yeah.
100%. Probably with playoffs, absolutely. He's
outside of when he
that's
broke
like if
What
you
are we
asked-
doing here? then what are we doing here? Every single person that's eligible for an award should play about that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
mean,
I like the
again,
65 game rule, but there's got to be something. There's got to be
yeah.
something to it. I do
If you're
think
going to be the best, if you're going to go out there and say you're MVP, then play as
you
many games
should
as
play
you possibly
90%
can.
of the games. I agree.
Yeah,
90% of the
like what are
games.
we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, you're required to go to work 100% of the time and only get paid for that time that you go. Your paycheck
That's true for
represents
me.
100% of the time that you work. It
No,
doesn't
Yeah.
represent 60%, and then so like, and you don't get 110% because you only worked all of the days, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
exactly.
We've got to figure this out. The NBA needs to do
Walter,
some things.
Why do you
I
hate me so
also
much right now?
I mean,
But
these
I
are
also
professional athletes playing at the peak of their career. Like injuries happen. So you're saying that if somebody blows out their knee, or blows out their Achilles in the like they don't shouldn't get paid for
Wally,
the time.
The NBA history is riddled with players that were really good but weren't durable.
So
I'm
you're saying
yeah.
sorry.
they shouldn't
The
get paid
NBA
if
history
they
is
blow
riddled
out
with
their
that.
knee in the middle of a game, they shouldn't get paid for the time they miss.
Well, I think injury is
I think
different though. I think
yes.
legitimate injury is different.
Yeah.
So that's a hard thing to qualify, though, right? If like I strain my back, to me that's legitimate, and I can't perform at the upper echelons. Like,
Yeah,
should that
so
not
go
be
be an
reason to sit out?
electrician. At
Okay,
that
but
point, you go be an electrician or
hey,
something.
hey, Chet, here
Like,
we go. Now he's going to say if I hurt my back, as a Boston Celtic fan, who hurt his
wait,
back and was
Where it
still
hurts,
out there
it still hurts. It
performing?
still
Every
hurts me.
day. Yeah.
Okay, but
His career was cut
he
short.
literally shortened his career because he showed up and for his team 82
Larry
games
Bird.
and went to you. It's almost blasphemous to you say when you say when you're like,
Larry
It
wait, Larry
Bird.
shortened
Bird
his
did this for his
career
team.
by a decade. Like,
True, but
what if he had sat out a couple more games? Would he have not
but
maybe lasted
but
five
ask
more
yourself this
years?
question: what is his legacy though? This guy's a warrior. This guy is
He's
one
a
of the
warrior.
greatest. He was. They sit down. What is LeBron's legacy from resting? Oh, he's a flopper. He's a crybaby. He's always hurt. I mean, his
Yeah,
legacy
good
versus
point.
those guys' legacy is totally different. You know, nobody questioning the manhood of those guys. I mean, Isaiah Thomas literally played an NBA Finals on one leg.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
And
did.
to say, oh, he could have easily said, oh well, I'm going to sit out. My ankle's hurt, and we're going to lose anyway. He fought like a warrior on one foot, one leg. So how he could have saved himself some maybe another year or two in his career, but he didn't because he was like, I'm a warrior. I want to win. I want to win now. So
Yep.
to me, I sit down and I go, I'm sorry, but legacy. You want to talk about legacy? You want to say, what is your legacy? That's when people look back on you. Part of Jordan's legacy is the ass whoopings he took from the Pistons.
Yes.
That
Oh
that
my
Jordan
God.
that Jordan rules that they put on him. That's everybody's. Oh, he just kept fighting. He kept coming back. He kept coming back. Okay, that's part of the aura of Jordan is that he kept coming back. He didn't quit. Like he didn't go. Oh, and I'll tell you, a guy who was just a big dude, played well, athletic. Larry Johnson was a great athlete. He was like LeBron size.
Grandmama.
He could move like that. He could do, but his back went out because of the physicality of the game. So you sit down. What could he have done if he had arrested? But he wasn't going to rest because that's not the way he was built. Those guys went out there and
But
left it out there.
Jordan decided I'm going to get bigger right now. I'm getting
Yeah,
my ass kicked. I'm going to get bigger.
yeah.
That's the kind of thing I want to see instead of like I'm making $150 million on my 6-year contract, but I'm
I
going to take a
mean,
day off because I had a little knee issue.
and you sit down and you talk about the money. You sit down and you look
Oh, Wally
at
hates me
Shaq.
right now. I love it.
Shaq made so much money he got fat. He wasn't
He did
hungry
get,
anymore. He got
he got
he
so
got
fat.
he got so much money that he just let himself go. How great could he have been if he'd just been hungry and been forced to, hey, I got to earn my money instead of getting this $100 million. You know,
So
got
Wally and I agree so much on so many things. I love to argue, but Wally, argue with me.
Again, I just keep coming to the same point. You guys keep blaming the individual players, and
no, no,
I
no.
contend,
I I am.
it is the teams more often than
Yeah,
not that are saying you should not play in this particular game. I don't feel like it's an individual player. So why should the
No.
the player be penalized if the team isn't letting him play? That doesn't seem
Yeah.
fair to me.
I mean, there's probably some level of truth to that. But again, do you think that the
Larry
Bulls
Bird
could
would
have told
let the
that,
Celtics tell
or
him, "Hey, you're not playing. You're
It's
hurt.
not
You're
the
not
80s
playing today."
anymore.
yeah?
These are
Well,
these are these are
again,
$7 billion companies.
yeah.
The
I mean,
80s had nothing to do with it. It was the
it
will
was
of the player to
No,
want to
the
go out
time.
there and
Yeah,
perform.
sure. But it was a
the
time period too, right?
what.
Like an individual player is not going to be able to go out in the field and say, "Hey, like I'm just playing. Listen, fuck you
Yeah.
guys, I'm playing." That's just not
Uh,
going to happen.
I will tell you, it could happen if they really wanted it to.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
how many games does
yes.
Jokic play a year? Jokic, you don't see him sitting down a lot,
You gotta grab that fucking brass ring. You
and
gotta
you
be
can't tell me Jokic doesn't get beat up. He doesn't get knocked around, and he's out there. So there's
Yeah.
guys out there who play and who are out there put it into work. It's a matter of how big is your heart,
you gotta get it. I
but
know.
part of it is, it's like it's pride. But again, these
Mhm.
guys, the difference is those guys in the 80s, even 90s, even the early 2000s, they're coming out of high school, they're earning, they're trying to build that reputation so they can get paid. These guys now, they're coddled from middle school. I mean, and they're talking, oh, look at this guy, he's the next LeBron. Oh, and these guys are, catered to and this, that, and the other. So they feel like they're so much bigger than they really are,
Thank you for
and
that.
Nate,
Also,
Nate, can you send Jeff the link again, real quick?
yeah, Nate, send if you
well,
can.
Tell him to look in his email. What
I,
he
I
didn't
told
delete
him
it.
already. He said his email's messed up, and he asked if somebody could send it again. You don't have
That
to.
said,
You can
that
say
said,
no.
oh,
I Nathan's like, no.
I'll say this: I'm excited for the
Keep the
playoffs. I think
conversation
I think
going,
there's a
yo.
potential.
Yeah.
This Philly, like, I'm not willing to overlook this Philly Celtics series. I know, like, people are glossing over it, and we kind of glossed over it. But at its core, it's still Phillies versus it's 76ers
Yeah.
versus Celtics, which
Oh
is
yeah.
historic,
a
historic.
Yeah.
historic rivalry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, this is a situation where, like, I'm not like 100% comfortable with it. Like,
Yeah.
this is still
Well,
Philly.
yeah,
Like, Philly,
yeah.
we hate each other. Like, this is
Yeah.
not.
Well, and here it goes back to, do the Philly players have pride? Max, those guys, if they can decide, hey, you know what, we're gonna
Maxey's
leave it
a hell
all
of a player.
we're gonna leave it all out there. If they go out and they play to their ability and leave it all out there, they could make this competitive. They could make this interesting.
Oh, I can tell
So
you this. I can tell you
but
this.
the question is it here? Is it in their heart? Is that fire there to go, I'm gonna go out here and I'm just gonna leave it all out there and whatever happens, happens. And that's the one thing I will say with this, watching and these, younger generation. And even when I coached, these kids are out there and they play, but their pride sometimes, as soon as things get a little hard, they don't like being uncomfortable. They're not
Mhm.
comfortable with being uncomfortable. So as soon as they get uncomfortable, they fold. And
Yep.
it's unfortunate, and so you watch and you sit down. Now there's still some guys out there they got that old school mindset. So I think Maxey's a great player. I think Philly's got a nice squad. I think they could put up a good fight.
I like
The
Edgerton
question
a
is
lot.
the question is, do they have it here? So
So Celtics in 5. That's what I got. What do you? Anybody got them in a sweep or what?
Yeah, I get Celtics in five. I get Celtics in five.
I think it's four. I understand the gentleman sweep thing, but I think it's four.
It makes
So
me
you think
nervous
it's a
that
sweep?
everyone's picking them, though. I've got to be
I
honest.
know. Well,
I want to be
I
the
I'm
get
not
you.
underdog.
nervous at
I
all.
want to
I'm
be
not
fighting
nervous
with
at
you
all.
guys about the Celtics.
They
yeah,
have so much to prove. They're like, oh, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, who's the leader? They're so mad at each other. They can't work together. Are you fucking kidding? Watch the two of them work together in a game. You don't just get that. Like that
yeah.
is chemistry. That's incredible.
Well, and I think with those guys, it's not about for them. It's about winning. They're able to
Yeah.
put their personal feelings aside and say, hey, let's go out. We're gonna go out here and be a team. We're here to win. And it's not about me
Exactly.
being a star. And when they were making their run, and they won it all, nobody cared who was the leading scorer. Nobody cared. They only cared about the final result. And
Yep.
I
And
think,
they're
and
gonna
that's
win it all again.
when I watched them play this, a few games I watched this year, that's how they play. They play like,
Yeah.
hey, we just want to win. But at the end of the day, we want more points than the other team, and I think that's the beauty of the Celtics. They're not their egos. They're able to put their egos and personal feelings aside and say, let's play. You know, and that's a hallmark of greatness. So
So Jose, remember you were talking about the player, or maybe it was Wally, like the player saying like, "Hey, I can beat the system. Like whatever it is, like you put the system in front of me, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna go ahead and say, no, I'm an alpha, and I'm gonna go out there and get it." There's a great story of Larry Bird. One of the playoff games against the Pistons, they were whooping our ass. They were like fighting us. They were so physical. And there's a great story about Larry Bird like yelling at the coach and being like, "Hey, just give me the ball and tell everyone to get out of the way." And the coach was like, "Larry, I am the coach of this team." And he looked at everyone and goes, "So listen, everybody, give Larry the ball and get the hell out of the way." Because
I'll
that's
tell you, I love Larry Bird stories. Cedric Maxwell has some great Larry
Cedric
Bird stories.
Maxwell. Yes,
Hey, I
yes.
love. I can listen to that guy all day. He's hilarious.
Right.
But his stories of Bird and Jordan, even
So
Isaiah
good.
Thomas, like he's
So
just
good.
like, he just makes you laugh because he's like, yeah, man, these guys were just built different. They were just,
They were.
he's like Larry Bird, man. I remember the first time I walked up to him, and I thought, who's this white guy? And then he just lit me up, and he was just like, this dude's different. He was a whole different breed. He's like, I'd never run into a dude like that. He
Do you
telling
know
me
how
Cedric, yeah,
Larry Bird
yeah.
ended his career? Was it because he was on the court, got a knee injury? No. The guy ended his career because he was fixing his mom's driveway and trying to pave his mom's driveway, and that's how he hurt his back.
because he didn't because he thought the quote that a contract gave him was too expensive. So ultimately, it was because he was too cheap to pay for labor.
The irony is like it's like he didn't have the money. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
dude,
right?
you at that point, he had that Converse deal. He was doing McDonald's commercial. You're like, come on, man, come on. But again, I mean, you think about the amount of money they were getting paid versus what these guys are getting paid now. It's like,
Yeah, you're right.
it's
It was different.
crazy.
Absolutely was
It was
different, I think,
different.
though. But you're right.
You know,
You're right.
yeah. But I mean and that's an hilarious story that he was too cheap to pay for labor. You
And
know,
that's how his NBA career ended.
yeah, so and again, like I said,
And
Isaiah
also,
Thomas,
can I
you
tell
know,
you this right now? Jeff Mosh, this guy that we're friends with, what an asshole. Oh, hey, Jeff.
Hello, Breck. How are you?
so
Here we're just here scuttlebutting.
We are scuttlebutting about who we think the MVP of the league should be, and I say Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, you're wrong though.
Did you vote for Drake May as well?
Oh, for the NFL?
Of course he
I
did.
would have probably objectively voted for Matt Stafford, but I love my Drake May. I love my Drake May.
All right, let's move on to the Red Sox. Let's talk about the Red Sox.
Oh,
Hopefully
okay.
Wally comes back because I don't really have a lot to talk about as far as the Red Sox. I wanted to hear about his game that he went to. Have you been to a Red Sox game lately, Jeff?
No, not in a while. No, not in a while.
No.
No,
Last season, did you go to one?
no, no. It's been
Really?
a couple of years since I've been.
I can't remember the
Really?
last time I've been there, but I can't
Well,
remember the
it's
last
an
time I went
expensive
either.
outing. It's an expensive
No,
outing, I'm sure.
we did the Woo Sox last year.
Oh, Blue
Woo!
Sox. Yeah.
That's
That's
Woo
more
probably
Sox,
fun,
a
actually.
great
yeah,
game.
that's
Loved it.
Yep,
it's a
that's
good
more fun.
product. Watching some of the full-time players in the MLB rehab there and stuff. So I'm sure it was a good time.
Yeah, good environment, nice family atmosphere, great
Yeah.
presentation.
I don't think you've met Jose. Jose, this is Jeff. Jeff Jose.
How you doing, man?
He's
nice to meet you.
Jose and I served together in the army in Kansas. He's been all over the place, but now he lives in Texas. So we're
Thank you for
we're
your
the
service,
two
Jose.
Texas men. Yeah. Well,
So,
what do
yeah.
you have on the Red Sox, Jose?
I haven't seen him play. I can't. I honestly,
Come
I
on,
have I have watched my Pirates. Um,
talk to us. What's going on with Skeens? He doesn't
uh,
he doesn't
Skeens
look
is
right.
he looks a little tired after the World Baseball Classic, and so I think he's a little tired. He's not as sharp as he was, but I think he'll if they again they sit down if they give him the 5 days rest like he should, and he'll get back into it. They spent some money. He's got a decent. They signed their shortstop. Hopefully they kind of spend some money to try to get some playoff appearance out of this guy. Really good
Yeah.
pitcher. Like I said, I mean, USA used him in that at world baseball, and so I think he's feeling the effects of that. So I think he'll be fine. I think if they need to, they could probably just kind of give him a little more rest in between starts, and then he'll get back into it.
Yeah.
So,
Walter,
but outside of that,
how was
go ahead.
go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead,
I was going to say,
Jose.
outside of that, the run support issue is always still there. They're not scoring the way they could. They need to eat with any of their pitchers. They're just you know you got to score more than one or two runs. If you plan to go to the playoffs, and they're just not
Yeah.
consistent enough with that.
Who are we talking about?
The
The
Pirates.
Pirates.
Yep.
Pirates.
Yep. The
Tell us
same can be
about
said
your
about.
Red Sox outing, Wally. Tell us about the game that you went to and your outlook on the Red Sox.
My outlook is a little darker than I initially thought it would be. I was hoping they'd be performing at a higher level. We're not doing very well, frankly. But I will say this: my trip into Fenway was fun as always. Fenway's a great park. Um, Going back annually always feels like just kind of going home. Like you get a sausage, sit down, have a couple beers. Everything's right with this world. I'm supposed to be going again on this Sunday with my father and my brother and my
Nice.
sister. I'm very excited. It's supposed to torrentially rain all day long on Sunday. So my fear is it's going to be one of those games where they don't outright cancel it. They just drag it out over 5 hours with multiple rain delays and just make my life a living hell.
Take me out to
But
the ball game, man.
I'm with people I love. I'll get drunk. My brother's sober. He'll drive. Life's good.
I like it. I like it.
That's
Who are
funny.
they playing? Detroit?
Detroit. They're in the middle of
Yeah.
that. They started a 4-game series with Detroit today.
Yep. They won 1-0. It's good. They've won 2 in a row. I love it. But they got a ways to go. They definitely don't look. They don't look as strong as they were to end the season last
No,
year.
no,
Bunch
it's
of
early
players
yet.
have
We get a
started.
lot of young players.
It is. Durand is not playing well, surprisingly. I
No,
expected him to. I expected him to make a leap, not a leap, but a step in the right direction.
who is
Anthony looks
playing
pretty
well?
good. Anthony looks pretty good.
Not a lot of people.
No, we got a lot of
Roman,
young players signed to big contracts, and they're happy to have their money and not play hard.
yeah,
Oh, we just talked about this, Jeff. I wish you were there the whole time.
Ah,
yeah.
sorry.
No, I wish you were. No, seriously, I wish you were there the whole time.
So do I,
All
man.
right, so
Thank you.
baseball's a long season. We got plenty of time to talk about that.
Plenty of time. You're right. You're 100%
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
100%
Let's
correct.
let's talk about the draft. Let's talk about the draft coming
Woo!
up.
Let's go.
So when are you guys getting here? Wednesday
Damn it.
evening, Thursday.
Damn it.
What's the?
Wait for us by the pickup in the airport.
Oh,
We'll be out.
okay. I'll do that.
Nate,
All
don't
right.
hate
So
us. Don't hate us.
so Thursday draft starts.
Are we
We
drafting a
got we
quarterback? Is
have
that what
what?
you're saying?
No, I hope not. Hey, I hope not. Hope we don't waste it.
All right.
My hope is that we definitely. I
We'll
hope we
go for a
trade
punter.
down. I hope we trade down.
Yeah,
Do
Because
you?
the person, yeah, the player that we can get at that, the player that we want, I'm sure we can get at a, and I would honestly love if the draft goes our way, meaning let's say it, I don't know, let's say the best tight end in the draft, Sadiq drops to 30 wherever we're at, and he doesn't go before then. Like, I'd love to see us trade that pick and a future pick for AJ Brown on draft day.
Oh, it's
Uh,
happening. Like June
I
2nd, AJ Brown is a Patriot.
Yeah, but
I
not
hope
draft
so.
day.
I
But I
hope
agree. I
so,
agree
but
with Nate. Like Nate,
I'd
I
like
would
to
love
see
it
it
on
on
draft day,
draft
but
day. But
I agree with Jeff. It's gonna be a June 2nd, June 1st.
Yeah.
is
After the
that's just based solely on the finance of it? Like if they
Yeah,
if they
it's
get
a
rid of
$40
him
million
after
dollar
June
cap hit.
2nd,
yeah,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
saving what, 20 million?
yeah.
40.
Oh,
Well,
is
then
it 40?
shoot.
It goes from 40 to 16 though, right?
Yes, if they wait. If they wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, I think we should just trade down, trade back,
Yep.
get a couple assets for the day 2 and 3, and also we should be able to get the guy that we want, you know, with that pick that we trade down. So,
Who do we want, Nate?
Edge
an
rusher.
offensive
Who we want.
lineman. Oh no, an offensive lineman.
You think?
We
You
want an
think?
offensive line. Yes, man. Yes.
We got
Well,
our left tackle, man.
hey, we can use some depth, and we can use another good.
All right.
If there's a again, if there's an A minus offensive tackle that's 6'7", 6'6", with long arms, like, and has good feet, like, you don't, they don't
We
make
like
them,
we
they don't
we like
make
short
they don't
arms.
make big guys, like that at a premium. So you should draft that athleticism, and when you have an opportunity to. There's only so many of those people walking this earth, for crying out loud. Like, if they play football and they have aptitude and they can move, let's get them in a Patriots uniform, because we can use the depth. I don't think we need an edge rusher. I know we lost Chase on. You know, I think our defense is good enough to survive that, to be honest with you. Or we can draft one in the later rounds. This draft is fairly deep at the defensive end position. I don't think we should go with that in the first pick. I'd rather see them, if it's an offensive weapon or something on the offensive side of the ball. Like, I'd rather see that. It doesn't need to be a tackle. I'd love to see them shore up the offensive line before they do anything, because it wasn't our receivers that lost the Super Bowl.
It was our
It
quarterback.
wasn't it wasn't our running back. It wasn't our
It
quarterback.
was our quarterback.
Our quarterback couldn't stand upright, Jeffrey.
Uh, he also couldn't make a decision like other than fart on himself.
You think so?
He,
I sternly
I
disagree. He had no time to assess anything. I thought the game plan was shit too. You know,
Game
our
plan was
stud
shit.
our stud offensive coordinator, picked a really good time to have
Whoa.
yeah,
a
correct.
shitty ass
Hey
game
now.
plan, but
Hey now.
I don't think it was Drake May's fault,
The
because
the
he
the
was.
the video of Vrabel picking him up on the sideline.
Yeah.
You want to finish this? That was, I don't know. I don't think he was there.
Well,
Well,
the
then let's
problem
get a
is,
quarterback
so
then. Is that what you're
you go
saying? We
posi-
should get a
you
quarterback?
go position by position. Who
No, I'm
who are
not
you
saying.
replacing? Who are you replacing on the offensive line? Like, this is the practical application of it. Like, you need to draft a starter. So, like, with a first round pick, you need to draft someone who's going to start on your team. What position are they going to start on the offensive line? We're moving our
That's
guard over
why I
to
said
center.
trade the
We
pick.
draft.
That's
We
why I
just
said trade
signed
back.
our new.
That's why I said trade back.
I don't think we're trading back. I think Chet's right. I think we're drafting a defensive end. I think we're going to draft the best available player, and at that pick in the first round, it'll be some defensive end that Vrabel falls in love with. And I think we're going to draft a defensive
The guy
lineman.
from Miami, that killed somebody in a car accident. That guy.
What? What?
Well, listen, better car accident than the
Eh,
firearms. We'll
yep.
go either way, though. Frankly, if we can get a couple of years of production out of them. History's proven it. History. We got a track record.
Yeah. He's
It's not
not
like
wrong. He's not wrong. Sit down. Nate, I'm with you on this. I would depth on the offensive line, and again, you can always take your right tackle, slide, and move him around if you find that
Yes.
really good tackle. and bring him into that, make that right tackle, and you can move him into the interior. You know, that Super Bowl, there was a lot to be left to be desired on both sides of the
Yeah.
ball.
Both
So,
sides of the
Mostly
ball.
on offense. Mostly on offense,
but
though.
I go back to I'm and you, like you guys said, that game plan was, I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
No.
Yeah, I was like,
Also,
what?
though,
Where? I did not see that coming at all, and
Run the ball.
I was thoroughly disappointed in the commitment to the run. Now, I will say, like, defensively, I would, you guys, if you can find that nose tackle in there that can anchor the inside, because that was one of the Patriots' hallmarks, and with Vince Wilfork and them. That guy, he was so, there's such unsung heroes, for him, and even with the Steelers, Casey Hampton, the numbers that weren't there, but man, their impact that allowed the rest of the defense to shine was enormous. And so, I wouldn't, if you're the Patriots and you could find a Vince Wilfork guy to get in there and say, okay, we're going to stuff this whole middle with this one guy, draft that, because
well,
Vrabel being a defensive guy.
that's Christian Barmore right now. We have him, so we're good with that. Like
Mhm.
he's like a Vince Wilfork who's like developing into like he's gonna be a beast if we
Yeah,
do it right.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
question. If
What about
yeah,
Sexy Dexy, huh? Huh?
so
Dexter Lawrence? Giants?
yeah,
They're trying to get rid of him?
yeah,
Hey,
I'll take him.
that's a run stop. That's a force
yeah,
up the middle. I mean,
yeah,
I would
and he's
take
a
sexy Dexy all day.
I'd like to see that, but we're just I don't know. I'm shooting shots. There's really no
Yeah.
validity to it.
yeah,
I'd like to see him build through the draft for sure. We have a few picks. Let's build some depth, shore up the offensive line and the offensive side of the ball. Like I'd love to see us get again an offensive weapon or depth at the O line. We signed some players, but injuries happen. I'd rather us have a good player sitting on the bench not playing because we drafted him and he's an
Yeah.
asset that we can use. So
Wouldn't you love to
that's my
draft
pick on that.
like I think of this pick like a Logan Mankins. Remember when we drafted Logan Mankins and
Oh,
everyone's like, who? Who the fuck is Logan Mankins?
I would
Like,
love
and the
that.
guy
Would love
just
that.
went on a
Hey,
run that
the guy that
like
wrestled
that's
in college didn't even
wouldn't
play.
that be a great thing? Remember how pissed off we all were when they said like, who the fuck is Logan Mankins? He came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I'm not wrong.
No, you're
that
not
was
wrong. We,
that
we,
was
we
the
used to be
genius.
very good at this.
That was the genius that was at
And
least Bill
Jose, by the
Belichick,
way,
unless it
yeah.
was
do you
the
want Aaron
offensive line
Rodgers
coach.
back?
Oh, honestly,
Hmm.
I'm
Oh,
okay
that's a
with
good
him running
question.
it back one more year, with the idea that, okay, we're going to draft to everything else around,
So
because
like Ty Simpson
we
or
have
something like
tight end,
that?
we have tight ends.
Yep.
He's been the best quarterback we've had since Roethlisberger, numbers
No doubt.
wise,
Yeah.
numbers wise. So he was solid. He was. So if we can get the, we can draft some offensive line, get some depth, get some young guys on that defense going and everything. I'm okay with it. I think that, Mike McCarthy is an offensive guy, so he's going to scheme better than what we've
Yep.
had in the last few years.
Yep.
So I'd like to see the Steelers work on, we used to, I remember we would draft, like what he said about Logan Mankins. I remember when we drafted Pouncey and everybody was like, oh, we need a wide receiver. Oh, we need, when we drafted Pouncey. And how did that work out? Awesome. So to me, I'm like, we need the next, Mike Webster, you know, my Pouncey to go in there. Because our interior, our offensive line was just not great. Our tackles were okay, but we were getting pushed around inside. So
All day. Yep.
if we can draft that line, we have some solid skill players. I mean, we could use another receiver, but our tight ends are so deep. I mean, we got guys that can, wide tight ends that can line out at wide receiver.
Yep.
So, which are matchup problems. So I think, to me, we just, on both sides of the ball, if we can shore up our interior of our defense and our offensive lines, so I'm not opposed to Aaron Rodgers. I would like to see Will Howard get. I like Will Howard. I think he's shown that he was at Kansas State, was very successful.
He was.
Switched over to Ohio State, won national title. The guy did it with less talent, and then he went to Ohio State and then won it all. I think he's a big guy. He's not some tiny little. He's a big dude. So it's like he's got a little Big Ben frame on him, and I think he's got a good arm. I would I
That's the
would like to
Steelers
run.
style.
I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers come in, and then if Rodgers did, hey, let's give Will Howard a shot. Let's stop drafting quarterback. Let's build from the inside out. And
I see
I
it.
think when you look at McCarthy, he's kind of like that. He's built that way. Let's build from the inside out, and we'll worry about skill players and quarterbacks later. Let's solidify the inside. And so I'm interested. I think it's an interesting hire, and he's not a rah guy like Tomlin, where, yay, I'm your cheerleader, I'm your boy. He's actually going to coach them to the nose. So,
No, fair enough.
we'll see.
I like it.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I like it until you play the Patriots. Then
Yeah. So you sit down and you just kind of look at it, but again, I hope that one thing that McCarthy can do that Mike Tomlin do is win the games he's supposed to win.
yes,
Because we would crap out. We'd be 10-point favorites, and then, and it was like craziness. Like, really? Like, how are we losing to these horrible teams? We lost to the Raiders. Who loses to the Raiders? Seriously. What playoff team loses to the Raiders? And
Well, the
we've done it
Patriots did.
multiple times. It's like, it's terrible. It's like, this is just awful. So hopefully we can bring some consistency and, with a little luck, we'll look like a decent product. So, but I'm not opposed to losing a lot either and getting high draft picks. So,
Yeah, franchise quarterback, right? Like, wouldn't that be best case scenario?
yeah,
I mean, probably not
Next
best
year.
case scenario, but in the next 2 to 3 years, if you guys can draft a generational 10 to 15-year quarterback, like that's best case scenario.
Oh yeah.
What are
next
the
year's
odds of
supposed
hitting
to be.
it, though?
Yeah. Well, what's
Well,
crazy
that's-
is when
I
we
was just
got
saying, what are the odds of hitting that quarterback?
Next year's quarterback class is going to be a really good quarterback class. So if you tank this year and get one of those top picks, you're going to get a good quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I would say
Is
this.
that a strategy? That's not a potential Pittsburgh strategy, is it?
Well, think about it like this: when we got Ben Roethlisberger, we were a perennial playoff team. Sit down. Then we kind of had a kind of crappy year and we had the 11th pick, and then Roethlisberger fell to us.
Yeah.
And so again, if you're McCarthy, hey, I can deal with six wins in a season if it means I can move up in the draft and get that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could take this draft, build up my team, and then have the team ready. So when we do get the shot of that franchise guy, because Roethlisberger walked into a really good situation. We were almost ready. We were that one piece away, and then he came in, and he was awful in that first Super Bowl.
All around him.
Yeah,
Super
I mean,
Bowl
he was
champions all
awful that first Super Bowl, but they still won because he didn't have to be great. He just had to have a lot lose it. So, I think if you build around a team around, like the Seahawks, they built that team up and then plopped in Sam Darnold, and next thing you know, it exploded for him. So I think
Why
you
you
build
bring
your
that up?
team.
We're still
I know it's sore
about it.
Yeah, I mean, but you think about what did Seattle do? They were building and building and building, with Geno Smith, and then all of a sudden, okay, now we need a better guy, and they brought Sam Darnold in. But I think that the Patriots, that Super Bowl I think that was more on the coaching staff than on the players, because on both sides of the ball, they didn't seem like they planned well.
Seattle did bring in a new coach as well. Like that helped it. Nothing against Pete Carroll, but that certainly helped. A new mindset, new schemes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And it fresh eyes, that people were hungry, and again, I think about the Vikings. They were so good, and they gambled and let Darnold go, and look how that went. So
not looking so good.
This past year, though, they canceled the Super Bowl, right? This past year,
only in your
Should've.
mind, but hey, listen,
Should've.
as a Patriots fan, you guys, how many teams don't would have loved to be in the game?
Yeah.
We
So
got our we got our
The
ass
rest of
whooped.
them. Yeah.
you know,
It's okay.
Oh, we did. We got our ass whooped. I
I
agree.
was happy
hey,
we were there. Happy
Hey,
we were there.
hey,
so
Wally, didn't you run into Roethlisberger once?
I did at Disneyland.
Was it
We
in
were
the
at
ladies'
Disney
room of a
in
bar?
Orlando. I walked in the whole family, and I'm like, he was wearing, I shit you not, he was wearing Pittsburgh jumpsuit. So he had like gray Pittsburgh sweatpants on and a hoodie, a Pittsburgh hoodie, and he was with a smoke show of a woman and like three little girls. And this is before he had kids. So I don't know who these girls were. And he was like an uncle figure to him. Like it was not like I'm
yeah,
not trying to cast any aspersions. I just saw him and I'm like, holy shit, that guy looks familiar. I'm like, that's Big Ben. And I was
hey,
with my stepbrother Justin, and it was with Zach. And I'm like, that's Big Ben. And we sure shit.
yeah,
And all through Disney, we followed him all along. My stepfather went up and talked to him about fantasy football.
yeah,
Yeah.
Big dude.
He was a big dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
he's a
big
big
dude.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Six
a big
yeah.
dude.
four.
Yeah.
Right? 6'4", 6'6".
Yeah.
What was he?
I think he's like 6'4", 6'4.5", 6'5". Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
a big
big
dude.
dude,
Yeah,
man. Big dude.
it's funny because like, hey, Wally, moms need love too. It might have been her kids.
It might have been. It might have
Yeah,
been. It might
yeah.
have been. Like I didn't listen. I didn't mean that was I meant to
No, I get
describe the
you.
scene, not
Yeah.
judge.
No, hey,
I
I
didn't
ain't mad
see
at. Hey,
anything that was
hey,
inappropriate.
hey,
They were
that.
kids. Like when I
Nothing
say three
inappropriate.
girls, I mean like I'm talking like 8, 10, and 12,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
little girls.
yeah. Yeah, he's taking a mom out to Disney World with the kids. So he
All
was
Yeah.
equal
power to them.
opportunity.
Dominance.
He's.
Gentlemen, regretfully,
It's hard to
I have
find
I have
single
two games
women without
tomorrow, so I
kids.
gotta go.
You gotta go.
Yeah,
Not before
I
not
have two
before we do
games
the
tomorrow. I
vibe.
gotta coach.
Not before the
What's that?
vibe.
Oh, I got you.
And you still gotta look for it. Don't even have it written down.
I
All
think
right. My
this
vibe
week.
this week is all the way with Big X, the plug, and Bailey Zimmerman. All the
All the
way.
way.
Big
All
X
the
the
way.
plug and Bailey Zimmerman. It'll be posted. But what's yours, Chet?
Well, I'm saving yours right now to my playlist. Give me a second. All the way, Big X.
Yeah, this is great. This is great for our one viewer who logged on in Jeff. No, I'm just kidding.
Mine is Atlantis by Seafret.
Atlantis by Seafret. Send it in the chat. I'll send mine in the chat as well. That's the vibe of the week. I do
Wait,
have
oh
one more
no,
question for y'all.
don't all end because of me. I'm the
I have
early.
one more question for y'all. You
Yes.
guys ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Do you want to hear a joke about paper? Never
Yes.
mind, it's terrible. That's the
Get
joke of the week.
Terrible.
That's the joke of the
That's a good
week.
one. That might
Thanks
be
for
the best
getting
one in
on,
a couple of
y'all.
weeks. I like that.
It's pretty
I
good,
like
right?
it.
It's pretty
That's a
good.
good one. Clever.
All right.
You're
Thanks for
terrible.
getting on, y'all. Love y'all. See you later. Next time. Get on next time.